Hi. So I'm Nati Sang, the founder of Makerspace Thailand, and I'm here today to talk about from ideas we're spreading to making those ideas happen. So the tagline for TED has always been ideas we're spreading. And it's great. We've been coming to TED Talks, we've been listening to TED for several years now, and the ideas that we get has really inspired a lot of us. So today I'm here to talk about how one of those talks really inspired me to bring creativity to the people. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so the talk in question is this guy here. You might recognize him, he's Sir Ken Robinson. He's probably the most watched TED Talk ever, 49 million plus views. And he gave a talk about, do schools kill creativity? And of course the answer is yes, they do kill creativity. But one thing that he said that really struck a chord with me was this. For some reason in the course of human history, we've decided that the only way to judge how intelligent someone is through academics alone. Meaning, if you don't do good in school, you're not very smart. But what that means is that there are so many people who are very talented, creative people who just fall by the wayside because they didn't do so well in school. So when I look around in a place like Thailand, I see things like this. 40% of the people in Thailand are farmers. And most people think, okay, well, farmers, they're not very well educated, therefore they're not very smart, and they're not very good at anything other than planting crops. But when I look at farmers, I see a very different picture. I see things like this. This is the Thai long-tail boat. It's made by a farmer in the north of Thailand. He took an engine and dropped it into a boat, and voila, long-tail boat. It can go through the rivers of Thailand that are full of weeds, and because you have a long-tail boat, you just glide on over it. And this is spread throughout the entire region of Southeast Asia. Or something like this. This is the Thai tractor, E10. They use it to plow the fields. Okay, good. That's kind of normal. But then, the farmers are very clever. So they go, well, I have an engine. Maybe I could do other things with it. So then they create things like this. This is a vehicle that they took the engine out from an E10, their tractor, and then transplanted it into this truck. So not only can they plow the fields, but they can drive the grain to the market as well. And this is done not from schools, not from universities, not from the government, but from farmers who are just very creative people. Or people like this. Now this is a guy, he's a construction worker, didn't go to university. He doesn't speak any English, and he built this. This is an electric car. There's no information in Thai on how to build an electric car. So what he did was he went onto YouTube, and he watched YouTube videos in English, and he looked at pictures, and he taught himself how to build an electric car. He taught himself the control systems, the electric wiring, the battery systems, and even the fiberglass layups. And he did this in a language he didn't even understand. He built it for 200,000 baht. He's already sold it for 400,000. And this is the workshop he did it in. So yes, a tin shack, dirt floors, very basic tools. And to me, this is a bit sad because it doesn't have to be this way. So whether they know it or not, we live in the fourth industrial revolution. And part of the fourth industrial revolution is digital fabrication. So some of you right now might be wondering, okay, what was 1, 2, and 3? So first of all, the first industrial revolution was steam. The second one was mass production. The third one was computers and robotics. And now we live in the age of digital fabrication. So what do I mean by that? So things like this. 3D printers is digital fabrication. Laser cutters and CNC machines, this is digital fabrication. In other words, it's not so much that you have to do it yourselves with only your hands. You can tell the machine what to do, and it will produce it for you. In other words, it makes the process of making something much, much easier and much more accessible to people. And the thing is these things are getting cheaper all the time. This 3D printer, for example, costs $300. That's less than many of your smartphones right now. And what have people been doing with things like this? So for example, at first they printed cars, and then they started printing cars. And then some people got a hold of digital fabrication. Now they're printing out entire houses. So when I look at this and all these factors, when I see a very creative people who usually get ignored by the system, when I see like very great people who can build things like this, and we live in an era where we have digital fabrication available and affordable enough for people to purchase, then okay, we need to do something about it, not just think. So that's why I created Makerspace Thailand. Yeah, so Makerspace Thailand is a collection. We have a space, and it's full of tools. Yeah, so we have things like 3D printers and laser cutters. We have a full workshop where we have things like CNC machines and hand tools and power tools and any kind of tool you can think of. The thing is, though, that this is just space and tools. Anyone can buy that. There has to be something more, because we're talking about creativity. So there also has to be a philosophy behind it. And how can we build a creative community? So first of all, it must exist outside of schools. Yeah? If schools kill creativity and we want to create a creative community, then okay, we have to exist outside and do something a little bit different than traditional academia. The second is it has to be affordable to the people. We're not trying to make a profit off of our community. We want to make this as accessible as possible to everyone. Because if we price it and try to make profit off of people, who can really afford to come in and use all these great tools? The third is knowledge is not a commodity. At Makerspace Thailand, we teach all of our tools to all of our members for free. If you don't know how to 3D print, we will teach you for free. If you don't know how to laser cut, we teach you for free. The reason why we do this is because if we make you pay for a class, well, suddenly, I paid for this, I don't want to share it with people anymore because it's a commodity. We don't want that. We want our members, our creative community, to share their knowledge with everyone, to help each other out. And by making it free and accessible to everyone, our caveat is, please help those around you as well. And finally, don't just think about things, make it. I've seen so many people come in with ideas, but they don't know how to make things. So, okay, at Makerspace Thailand, we teach you how to make it, and please make it for yourself. So what does this look like when you put this philosophy and this kind of space into action? So this is our CNC machine. Okay, the guys at the shop, they built it. And then, of course, first they're just making parts from it. But then we started pushing their boundaries and asking them, well, what else can you do with it? So then they started making art. This is Ganesh, or Papikanet in Thai. This is carved out of 100-year-old teak wood. And then they started doing, well, what else can we do? And then they started doing things like this, design their own furniture. In Chiang Mai, we have a lot of coffee. So, they're looking at coffee. What can we do? Well, cold brew coffee seems to be popular. So then they go, okay, first they make a little crude prototype like this. And it doesn't look very much. And then they started adding in electronics and developing more. And then they put like 3D printing and laser cutting and CNC technology. And then they make something like this. This is a cold brew printer. It uses 3D printed technology, or 3D printer technology. And they use 3D printed parts, laser cut parts, and CNC machine parts to create this. Something that allows people to fine-tune, control the extraction rate of coffee in a cold brew process. And they're developing it now for the global market. Of course, there's other things going on. The new generation, they come in and we teach them how to do things. So then they make things like this. This is a Pokemon helmet, Marowak to be specific, and this kid made it. Came into the space. But it's not just for kids. Older members, they come in as well. So for example, this is one of our members. He came in and used all of our tools, and then he produced something like this. This is the Thai loom. Well, no. This is a modern Thai loom. They used to be really huge installations, and now he's shrank it down using our tools to make it into something more like furniture. And now he's turned this into a business. He's had so many orders that he's had to hire a bunch of people to help him produce it. And now he's opened up his own retail shops, both here in Chiang Mai and down in Bangkok as well. Or other members come in. So this member, he didn't really know how to do anything in terms of electronics or whatnot, but he built this. This is a full race car simulator. It hooks up to the computer and you drive a simulated car. This was made with $20 worth of windshield wiper motors and a $10 microcontroller. And this was done in the Makerspace. But more than this, it doesn't have to be just Thais. We're in Chiang Mai. We have a huge international community. So, for example, this member here, he's been coming to us every year. And, for example, he's an inventor, so he made this. This is a micro drone. Fits in the palm of your hand, and he's developing it for the toy market. Yeah, cool. Or people like this. This is one of our members. He's very passionate about chocolate. So he came in, and chocolate machines are very expensive usually. So what he did is he came into the Makerspace, and he used our tools, and he produced this thing. This is a nib separator. It usually costs thousands of dollars. He made this for something like $20. And now he's made this from that machine. He created his own Bean to Bar chocolate company based here in Chiang Mai. It's available for sale now. And this is what is doable when you have a creative community and you have a makerspace available. So some key takeaways that I learned from doing all of this is this. First of all, you have to make something. Meaning, a lot of people come up to me and they say, well, I'm a really creative guy. I go, okay, so what makes you think you're creative? And they say, well, I'm a guy with a lot of ideas. Now, you probably heard that a lot, or maybe some of you think that way as well. The thing is, though, when we talk about creativity, creativity means you must create. It means you must make it real. And so when someone says, I have a lot of ideas, that's not creativity to me. That's just a guy with an active imagination. So, in other words, you have to make. And by making, you'll be something like this. In your head, you think it goes one way, but the reality is very different. And for you to really learn about something, about being creative, you must make it real and learn all the hardships and pitfalls and perseverance you have to do in order to make something. And also, we all heard the robots are coming for our jobs. Yeah? So creativity now is more important than ever. Because, look, I don't know about you, but I should hope that us as humans can always be more creative than a robot. So yes, if they're coming for our jobs, maybe we should emphasize our creativity a lot more. And finally, this. Makerspaces need to be as accessible and common as the public library. What does that mean? Well, public libraries are, they're accessible to the people. A lot of people can go to them. They don't cost very much money, and they exist outside of schools. Oh, that sounds kind of familiar. So, look, if we have a lot of resources right now to build public libraries like this, well, and if creativity is very important for our future right now, it makes a whole lot of sense that maybe we should be doing more makerspaces and use a model similar to the public library. Meaning, what I want to see is makerspaces in every country, in every town, in every dangjamwat, in every village, because it's very important. The countries that do invest into makerspaces right now and bring it to the people, these are the ones who will take the lead in the fourth industrial revolution. Finally, this. So, as I said, from ideas we're spreading to making ideas happen. What I would like to urge to you as you're sitting here in the audience is you're listening to a lot of ideas right now, and I hope that you're being inspired. One thing I would like to say to you is don't just think about things and imagine things. What I urge you to do is make these ideas real and make them happen. Thank you.